Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Guys, we're having a little bit of a cozy sit down one today because it is cold. Just got in from work, the heating is on full whack, and after this I will be going to light the fire because I'm not loving these cold evenings, I can't lie. I am now in the mood for spring. Spring to arrive and to have a little bit more sunshine. Also just have a bit of daylight. I'm sick of leaving for work in the dark, coming home for the dark, and the only bit of daylight I see is from the window. The window while I'm working away. Great. So, guys, this is going to be a little roundup, sum up of what's to come on the channel for the year so far. These are bits that we've got planned in, we've got booked, and I'll also be letting you know where else we could be off to this year for some good little vlogs to get us out and about, see what else is out there. And you know what, it's not going to be to everyone's taste. Some people will say, why are you going there, why are you doing that? Tough titties. We're going to have quite a few little random excursions, let's just say. We've got some Virgin Experience days, which we love because it's better than sitting cooped up indoors, ain't it? It gets you out. It's a little bit of a fun day out, and we have got actually some quite adventurous ones this year. So I am just going to get myself comfy, and then let's have a little catch up of the 2025 travel plans. Whew. Guys, I've just had to turn the heating up even more. I've got it on 20 and I'm like, nope, it's up to 25. I want it like I'm back in the Caribbean. Let's have a look. Good old countdown app. I can't go anywhere without my countdown app because this is actually my life on here. So, where have we been? January, we've had a few little trips in London, didn't we? We've took Mama G out. We've got another one with her on, is it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember, but I know that we're back in London. Taking her to the Savoy for a little roast dinner and to the Marilyn Monroe exhibition, which I think will actually be quite interesting. Mum absolutely loves Marilyn, and I like her for what she stands for. She doesn't care that she has curves. That was the ideal woman's figure back then, and she had a NFG attitude, no bloop given. And I admire that about her because I think everyone is so quick to jump on bandwagons if you don't look a certain way, or you don't dress a certain way, or you don't do things a certain way. If everyone done everything the same way and everyone was the same size, it would be a boring world. So, you know what? She had some curves. I admire that. I have a few little curves, and you know what? Yes, the curves have got bigger. I'm the first one to admit. And when people say, oh, you've got big, I'm like, tell me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know, darling. But you know what? Why don't you take that energy and focus on yourself? Because there's enough just negative energy in the world, isn't there? And I just think, you know what? If that's how you exude life, carry on. Absolutely carry on. Because as they say, karma comes around, and no one knows what position they're going to be in. No one knows what battles people are going to have to go through, what battles people have gone through. And I think it's very narrow-minded when people just jump on the bandwagon of things. And I'm like, no, but we will see at the end, my lovelies. We will see at the end. The first kind of road trip, in essence, we're off to Kent in February. And we are off on a consecutive weekend because we have clay pigeon shooting. Now, this is something me and Dan have said we wanted to do since the beginning. It was like, it was always, shall we, shan't we, shall we, shan't we? And just kind of never got round to booking it. We always thought how to book it, where to book it. And good old Mummy G on Virgin Experience days, maybe with a little bit of help, she found the clay pigeon shooting, and it's over in Kent, which isn't a million miles away. We are going to pop down. I don't know if we're staying at Mum's the night before. I'm not too sure on the whereabouts of everything just now, but yeah, clay pigeon shooting, and it's also a private session. So from what I gather, you get ones like in groups or that, but Mum was like, because it was both our first time, she said you can have the private one. So I'm very excited for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to film any bits and bobs because you're going to be handling guns. And to be honest, it will probably be, if I can film it, it will probably be a very, very good laugh because I just know I'm going to be absolutely terrible. I know I'm going to have this gun and I'm going to try and aim for something and it's gonna go into thin air, ain't it? It's gonna be like pull, and I'll be like boom, and then it's gone. But you know what, everything is an experience. I think Dan will be very good. He's very good with like when he does his air rifles and all of that, which, as I say, you guys will gladly see in the living room, which I'm like, can we maybe just move that somewhere for the moment? So we're having a little rejig as to where that can go, and maybe lose some of the books for it to go in there. We're not too sure. We will see. And then we're also in Kent for a vineyard tour. Now the vineyard tour, I'm looking forward to that. If you remember when we went to our first vineyard tour, was it last year or the year before? I feel like it potentially could have been 2023 maybe. Oh my god, that's a long time ago. Where on earth has time gone? I think it actually could be 2023. We went to Squirries in Kent. This one, I can't remember the name of the vineyard, I'm not gonna lie, but again, it's kind of like deep into Kent. I was thinking, yep, we'll just come through the tunnel and over the bridge and it'll be done, and no, it's quite waiting. So I'm like, okay, we'll see a little bit of Kent countryside, because obviously my grandparents was from Kent when I was growing up, so I know bits and bobs of the area, but I think Kent has so much to offer, and when the weather is actually getting nicer, there is a lot of castles and parks and nature walks and everything, so definitely a place I think we'll be popping over. But the vineyard, cannot wait. I think, what time is it? It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock in the morning to be going and drinking wine. I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so hey ho, we shall see. We are also off in London quite a bit. We are off for the concert. We have James Bay coming up, which I cannot wait. I am so excited for that. I think Dan's actually more excited than me. And that is going to be a very busy weekend on that one, because you have the concert and then it's Valentine's Day. We're not going out Valentine's Day because I tell you what, guys, it is downright daylight robbery that restaurants, bars, whatever, you can get a normal set menu and it could be, say for example, 40 quid. And then come Valentine's Day, they want to charge you 65 quid. So I said to Dan, I would actually rather maybe having our first takeaway in the house. We still haven't had a takeaway. Donada, I don't know why we haven't. We've popped down and grabbed bits and bobs, but actually having something delivered, we haven't had our first takeaway. So I was like, maybe we could do it for that. And he was like, he already knows what he wants. So I'm like, I think it's going to be a little takeaway night. And then we are in that weekend back at London. We are off to a little exhibition, which I'm then returning back to in April to go with Mum, because she really wants to see it also. So I was like, you know what? My phone is just, what's done? There we go. February, the first kind of big road trip. So we have Kent, and then the big road trip is up to Scotland. And Brogan has advised me, Shan, it's still cold. Bring everything because it's Baltic. And I'm like, you know what? Needless to say, I will bring the blankets, I will bring the duvets, I will bring everything. We will bring throws, we will bring the big puffy coats, scarves, gloves, hats, the whole shebang. I cannot wait to get back up there. Obviously, Brogan, Liam and Ted, we will go out and have some good food. That is what we always do, just food. Food, food, food. Even when we went up to see Teddy on New Year's Eve, we still ended up the day before popping out for a Chinese. I was like, that's all we do. We just go around and find food places. But you know what? I don't care, because I can't lie. Scottish food kind of puts our food to shame. Me and Dan have still not found a roast dinner that compares to the ones that we've had up in Scotland with Brogan and Liam. And we're kind of like, damn it, because when they come down this year, we actually need to try and pull something out of the bag. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to popping to their family butchers and having the haggis, getting the black pudding. Oh, her dad's sausages, the best, the best. So that's going to be fun. I don't actually know what the plan is while we're in Edinburgh. I think we might pop to the castle for the day again. I think we might go botanical gardens, I think Brogan said. Potentially the zoo. And then we might have a day where we just stay on campus at like the lodge hut that we're in. And then potentially down to Portobello. Maybe a little bit of shopping somewhere. Me and Brogan will have a big FaceTime before we have the drive up, because she wants to see the updates with the house. And then we'll also plan what on earth we're going to do. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. A whole week pretty much up there. and I'm looking forward to it. Dan is absolutely ecstatic as well, and we just can't wait to see how big Ted's got. Oh, he's adorable. And then in March, back in London, to be honest, quite regularly in London. I'm not going to lie, it looks like we're there most weekends. So London is a very big hot point, as you can see. We haven't yet tried to get to there from the house just yet, because I feel, number one, I say we haven't tried. We put into Trainline what we needed, and the price that it come back for a return ticket was probably triple the price it would cost in fuel just to drive, and it wasn't even that much difference in time. So I don't think we'll actually be getting the train much. I think that we will be going down, and it's great because we can leave the car at mum's, head off, and then we have the evening with mum. So yeah, I think that might be the way forward with London, because it's astronomical, the prices that they charge. And I think, how do you want people to travel and get around the UK? And I saw something the other day that from London to Manchester a return was over £300. It baffles me. I said to Dan, actually, we might have to look at potentially buying like a year, is it like a year, not subscription, a year's pass for the trains that we might need to get out and about this year, because sometimes you don't want to drive everywhere, and if it is a little bit easier, as I say, getting a train from here to Edinburgh would definitely cut out a 7.5 hour drive. But when you're there, you're then stuck because you haven't got your own form of transport, unless you then hire cars, and then it's extra costly. So yeah, I don't know, but the trains I think are absolutely ridiculous at the moment. But yes, we are back in London pretty much every weekend. Me and Dan, mum, me and mum. I love it. We then in April go to Norfolk. Now, I haven't been to Norfolk years. I think the last time I went, I've only ever been once, was when I went to a log cabin, and it was around like Swaffham area. I don't feel like I've been Norfolk Broads, so that is going to be an experience. We're off there, and we are also off to Hastings. Hastings for another vignetto. Can you see there is a theme? If it's not food, it's drink. But you know what? Hey ho, it is what it is. Hastings is actually very high on the list, because Hastings, I keep seeing it all over TikTok, have a crime museum. And after we done the serial killer exhibition in London earlier this month, I cannot wait to go there. And Dan was like, okay, let's see how much it is first, because we're thinking it's going to be pricey. It's a crime museum. Why are prices so different to London? I know obviously you're paying for the city, but the price of the tickets there, I think for two of them, it wasn't even the price of one ticket for the London one. So I cannot wait. Cannot wait. We're going to have a nice little road trip, as I say, down to Hastings. Neither of us have been to Hastings before. Probably have a little look at some of the historical bits and bobs down there, if there's anything to do with a battle or anything like that. You know me and Dan, if there's a castle, we'll probably end up at the castle. But yeah, a nice little road trip. And I'm hoping by April that the weather's going to have started to get a bit better. Guys, we're doing an experience in May that I've never done before in my life. And if you watch the Christmas, what I got for Christmas, you will know that there was an experience that I was very hesitant about, that Dan got me. And I feel it's in preparation for something else. So you would have seen Dan got a glamping weekend. I've never done glamping. I've never done camping. My closest to camping is a log cabin, which is very different. We went to go outdoors the other day and we saw all these tents, and I mean, Dan's tent is in the loft. It's 2 or 3 bedrooms, and I'm thinking, how do you have bedrooms in a tent? I learned how you have bedrooms in a tent. It's a zip. That's your bedroom. So we're going glamping. So it's, I feel like it's not a tent. I feel like it's a little tiny hut. It's nothing like a log cabin. The thing that I think I'm going to be a little bit hesitant about are shared facilities. Now, that's probably going to come across really pompous, but I've never had to be in an area to use shared facilities, and I think I don't know how I would feel with that. So I was like, okay, it's an experience. When we was going to book it, he said, oh, you can exchange for a nice meal and all that. And I was like, do you not want to change? He was like, we're going glamping. I was like, okay. So it's something he really wants me to try. And I feel like if I do okay glamping, it's going to prepare me because he wants to take us camping. But I feel camping is a whole different thing. I don't know, even just the thought of it is making me, I don't know how I feel about like sleeping on the floor or sleeping in a bag. I know you guys are probably watching this and shouting at me if you've been camping and like, it's actually not that bad. I know. I will take it as it is. We will go with an open mind. And yeah, I'm just gonna plod along and pray. Because it's very out of my comfort zone. And Dan knew it was out of my comfort zone. But he's like, come on. And because it's something he likes and he wants to do, I'm like, well, I'm not going to say no. But it will definitely be an experience for me. I can't lie, guys. Come July, back in London nearly every week. Back in London nearly every week. August, August we're actually off to a few places. We are off to Gloucestershire, I think it's classed as. But we're also then heading to Bristol while we're up there. And potentially to Oxfordshire. So that is going to be a very, very busy, chaotic weekend. In Bristol, hopefully we're catching up with Keely and Tom and doing something. So we're going to have a little quad day. The other days we're going to be out and about, seeing family and friends. And then have a drive home. And then, what else? Oh, we're in Cambridge as well in August. Me and Mum I actually cannot wait for this day. I bought it for Mum's birthday, if you remember last year. We're going for afternoon tea in a dome with Highland cows. I cannot wait. Like, actually, that's like bringing a little bit of Scotland to home. And I keep watching their TikToks and I'm like, oh, not long, not long, not long. So, yeah, Mum's never seen a Highland cow. She's like, Shannon, are they vicious? I'm like, they're actually quite sedentary. When we saw them, they didn't really do much, to be honest. They just looked and stayed in their field, but they didn't come over. They weren't bothered that we had food. It was just kind of like, okay. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a nice, that I think is actually our first afternoon tea. Unless I book something later on down the line. But for now, that is the first afternoon tea in August. Okay. And then our winter sun holiday in September. Now, I was going to do Caribbean again. But Dan has never been to the Caribbean apart from last year. So St. Lucia was his first Caribbean island and he loved it. And I thought, oh, we can maybe do another one this year. And then we was looking around at places and he said, do you want to do another one? Because you've done Dominican, Jamaica, St. Lucia. This will be like the fourth one on the trot. And I'm like, let's see a little bit of a change up. So we was having a look around places. I feel 2026 and 2027 are going to be the big holidays. We're looking into doing our own tour around America. You know, like the South where you've got like Nashville, Tennessee, Memphis, all of that jazz. We're looking to that in 26/27 and also potentially a cruise. So I think they're going to be the years for the big long haul. But we was like, right, where to go for a nice little bit of winter sun? Wherever you go, September, October time, like over South America, Caribbean side, you're always going to be in hurricane season. It is hit and miss whether you have bad weather. You might get rain a couple of mornings. I have never had days in the Caribbean and places like that where you're like shut down for the whole day. You'll have a little bit of rain in the morning or you might have a bit in the afternoon and then it's fine. So we were still looking around that area. Anything over 9-hour flight seemed to be the criteria that we was looking at. And we've ended up, I think some of you may have already guessed this because I've already actually been to this country twice. I've done different parts though. And I said if I didn't go to another Caribbean or the Maldives, I would love to return back to this place. Because I've done it at 21, 25, and I would do it at 30. And that, my lovelies, we're back to Mexico. we are off to Mexico, and it was one of the places that out of all of my previous travels, Dan said he would actually like to go back to all the places that I've been. He said, but we'll do it together. So there's going to be Jamaica on the cards, I think potentially 26, 27. Dominican, he might, I think, what did he say with Dominican? If we did the cruise, we can stop off at them. But I think Jamaica, he actually wants to do the holiday because of how much is to do there with the Bob Marley. But Dominican, maybe if we do a Caribbean cruise, one of the islands. And we was looking through, and he said, you always say Mexico, you've done both sides of it. So I went to Cancun when I was 21, and we was at, where did I stay? Hard Rock. Amazing hotel. Probably not for the company I was with, but the essence in itself, that was kind of like my first long haul flight. It was my big holiday in essence. Like, God, I saved and saved for that holiday. We booked it, and it was like, I don't know if we're going to have the money for this by the time the deposit comes, but worked me, little tush off, and it was perfect. And then I went back when I was 25 to Riviera Maya, which was kind of a bit more relaxed and not so hectic as Cancun. So from my hotel in Cancun, you could walk probably about half hour down the strip, and you could go to like a shopping centre. You would then get your cabin to say where Coco Bongo was. And Riviera Maya, you didn't really have that bit to go out. So where we're going this time is Riviera Cancun, and it's literally slap bang in the middle of the pair of them. And it is a brand new hotel chain. If you have watched any of the previous travel vlogs, for Dominican, I was meant to be in a Tui Blue. I ended up in a Margaritaville resort, which can't fault, absolutely loved it. And then for Jamaica and St. Lucia, I chose the hotel chain of Royalton, which again, cannot fault it. And if we was going to go to Antigua, that was the one with Mexico Antigua, it would have again been Royalton, because the service, the facilities, everything there, I love a Royalton. I can't lie. I'm still living with my Royalton bag that they gave me in St. Lucia. Wish I didn't get in Jamaica. I don't know why. But we're going with Secrets, I think it's called. And we was doing some research, and obviously Dan is very fine saying, if you like it, it's fine. But I narrowed it down to about 5 or 6 hotels, and we went through, and he was like, right, not that, not that. And we both come to this one, and it was like, right, that's that. We're also flying with a different airline. We're flying with British Airways. Neither of us have flown with British Airways. Neither of us know what to expect. We are still doing like the premium economy. Couldn't the first class and business class. Woo! Maybe when I'm 60, you know, but yeah, we're doing the premium economy again, so we don't actually know what to expect. I think nearer the time we will probably look into perhaps just like, you know, like a YouTube video and see what it's like, what to expect. The thing that we're both ecstatic about, you get 2 suitcases each. 2 times 23 kilos, so I could take 46 kilos out. Now, last time I went to Mexico, when I went to Cancun, I took a suitcase and a spare suitcase out. And when I come back, I got charged for 18 kilos over because I absolutely filled my second suitcase. So this time I haven't got to worry about getting charged because we're going to have plenty of allowance. And then you have your cabin bag, your little suitcase, and then your cabin bag. So I cannot wait for that. And I think that's going to be a very, very eventful holiday for the pair of us. So we come back and it will be when do we fly out? I think we come back and it will just be hitting October. So then you're going to have Halloween content, pumpkin picking, probably a few more little road trips out and about, to be honest, guys. I really want to get some horror houses or like haunted mazes, or is it like haunted abandoned buildings? If anyone knows of any websites or anything in the UK, please do let me know. Also for Scotland, because I have found some for Scotland. Dan is a little bit hesitant because he doesn't really like the scary jumpy stuff. So I was like, if not, me and Brogan can go out and leave the boys at home. We shall see how that goes. But yeah, I think that maybe a visit to Scotland will be back on the cards for around Halloween time. For Easter time, we are contemplating going away again. We're not too sure where. It will either be somewhere within the UK. It could potentially be back to Wales because we both want to climb Snowdon. So we might end up having a long weekend in Wales for Easter, or we're kind of in liaison at the minute. If Keely and Tom are off, we might actually try and do a little city break just in Europe, just a 2-3 nighters. But yeah, that could be something very interesting. And coming around after my birthday, I think I've got a couple of days spare, so I feel like, again, don't quote me, it's on the cards potentially for Dublin. I cannot wait if we end up going. The only thing we're finding in the minute, guys, Dublin is expensive. For what we've paid for our winter break, which I'll get to in a minute, Dublin is coming up almost double, and it's for like half the time. So we're really contemplating with that for June. But I think if not, again, it might be a long weekend somewhere in England, a little road trip, not a problem. We then in October are pretty grounded, I would say. Here we will still have experience days, so it's probably trips back to London and everything like that. And then November, we've actually booked our winter anniversary getaway. So how we said we'll do it, because we've got a winter anniversary in November, everywhere's cold. Our first anniversary, we went off to Reykjavik in Iceland, and last year, because of all the storms and everything that was going on, and we had bits with the house, we didn't want to go away, so we went back to Winchester, which was where we had one of our first little holidays. And that was lovely. Christmas markets, that was closed, but it was a lovely little Sunday meal at the Ivy. So this year we was like, right, we're going away. And Brogan and Liam have said, you need to go to Poland. Like, Poland has so much to do. It's cheap, it's affordable, you won't regret it. So we started to look. Budapest was in the running, Prague, Copenhagen, and then Poland. And we looked through and we found this hotel in Krakow, which is, I think it said 10 minutes from Old City. And we was like, right, that's it, sold. We then looked at the excursions that you could do. So I just thought it was like the history excursions of Auschwitz. They have salt mines, they have a vodka tour, they have gun shooting rifle ranges. Dan's like, we're doing that. I'm like, okay. They have the snowmobiles. You can have the thermal baths like what we did in Reykjavik. And they also have, I feel it's like a tram car that goes to another little village. That looks lovely. So when we are actually up in Scotland in February, me and Brogan, again with Liam and Dan, we will all be sitting there and planning a Poland getaway. And then hopefully maybe in 2026, we'll have a big group getaway to Poland. But yes, I cannot wait for that. We're going, as I say, I think it's 4 or 5 nights. I can't remember exact dates. I know that it's gone and we've been booked. But yeah, so I can't wait for that. And Dan is now more excited because he's found the vodka tour and the rifle day. And I'm like, maybe we definitely have to do the shooting first, because I can't be doing a vodka tour and then be going on to that. And believe it or not, also there's a Hard Rock Cafe. We're 10 minutes from the Hard Rock Cafe, which, if you remember, for our anniversary meal in Reykjavik, we went to the Hard Rock. So I feel like it might be a tradition if we're away to go to a Hard Rock, if we're in like a city. And then in December, we are back in London. Back in London for a couple of evenings. And as I say, who knows what else, because we have 2 or 3 meals with Mum. She just needs to tell us when she wants to go. We are then, as I say, contemplating with Keely and Tom, if they're off over Easter, we might have a little European getaway. If not, we probably will end up popping down to Wales, maybe to climb Snowdon. So we shall see about that. And then before you know it, it will be planning 26, 27. And as I say, I do think that those ones are definitely going to be the big ones. I would love to show you what is behind the camera right now, but I'll actually probably show you that in probably at 75 soft update or a little vlog, because now we have these, it's kind of changed our perception of traveling. And that's why I say 2026 and 2027 are going to be the years for like the big travels. So it won't just be a 2-week winter sun. I'm talking maybe like a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks at a time. So I cannot actually wait. I said to Dan, do you think I'm getting too old to travel? He just looked at me. I said, because I think if you're going around on all these long jaunts, you've got to be able to do it. Like, you can't, I'll be like, whew, absolutely not. But me and Dan, we love a good little hike. We love getting out. And as I say, we're very fortunate in the area we live in to have nature parks all around us. So we get out, we definitely get the fresh breeze, let's say that, in the mornings when it's all misty and dewy. It's lovely, don't get me wrong, you need your layers, it's freaking freezing, but yes, it is lovely. And for 2025, my lovelies, that kind of concludes where the channel's going to be going. So I do hope you're ready for a few little road trips and out and abouts. And as I say, I feel Mexico could be the best travel vlog yet. I feel like we're going to incorporate Cancun, we're going to incorporate River Maya, we're going to do some excursions that I was never able to do before. When I went out, it was either I wasn't allowed or I didn't have the choice, and it's different now. So there's definitely going to be some quirky excursions, and yeah, I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. And to be honest, it's just about seeing what every day brings, ain't it? I mean, I have road trips pretty much every day with me work commute and that, but you know what? When you're looking at the greenery, it's not too bad. Not too good when you're stuck in traffic, but hey ho, you can't help all that. But yes, we are going to see where 2025 heads us, as I say. So we're going to have plenty of road trips. We're going to be up and down the UK, back in Scotland. We're going to be popping off to Mexico, popping off to Poland, potentially over to Wales or Europe, and potentially over to Dublin. So I'm not too sure. We will just have to go along for the ride, in amongst going to Vineyards and Kent and Hastings and everywhere and about. But yes, if you did enjoy the video, guys, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let me know, where are you off to this year? Where are your travels taking you? Are you going overseas? Yeah, abroad, overseas. Are you staying in the UK? And where is somewhere in the world, whether it be the UK or anywhere at all, where would you say is one place that you think me and Dan should visit? Have a little think of that. But yes, as I say, guys, have a great day. I do hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping warm in this blooming cold weather. But take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.